engaging us over the next 10 minutes. We're very excited to learn about playful ways to get students engaged in AI literacy with interactive tools. Thank you.
Hi, so hello everybody. I'm going to give you some ideas of tools that I really love to share with teachers about how they can get children to actually explore and engage looking at different tools. So let's look at some of these. My favorite one is Read Along. Read Along is a Google tool. It's completely free. It works on Android and they've also got a website. What's really cool about it is that it was developed in India and then brought to Africa. And when they brought it to Africa, they employed about 30 or 40 African authors. So the contexts are real in terms of African, which is exciting. But the AI part of this tool is incredible. The children read and the AI listens and helps them. So you set your child's age group, how old it is, there's a selection of little books that they can then read and they have to talk. For me, that's so exciting. The next one, oh, and here's the website. So the website now and the app go down to general phonics and introductions to sounds and words, as well as then stories about those letters. So again, reinforcing it, children have to look and say, and the AI helps them. It's really, really great. Go and have a look at it. Readalong.google.com. If you just type in Read Along Google, it pops up. The other one for me is called Mbani. Mbani has created a set of books like this. They're really, really durable. They work really well. In fact, those little hands over there are my little grandson, and he was playing with the book, and he actually gets irritated when it doesn't answer quickly enough. The cool thing with Mbani is you can choose from a range of languages. So the print of the books is in English, but the range of languages that you can get the children to be listening to is really wide. And so they then hold the phone over the book with a little app, and the AI then reads the text, or if it's the English, or it says the text if it's in one of the other languages. So for me, it's really great. They've also got flashcards and things like that you can use. Really easy to use, works well, and it covers all the topics that you would sort of in a ECD grade R and grade 1 kind of classroom. So really nice. Then lots of you might have heard of Duolingo ABC. Duolingo. This is a junior version called Duolingo ABC. It works really, really well. And again, it's the kind of tool where the children are engaged. There are a range of languages that the children can be involved in. AutoDraw for me is a really cool tool that you can use all the way through schooling, not just with little children. You click on the AI tool, and then your doodles, it gives you the suggestions. If you look at the top of the animation, and you can then color those in, you can add multiples of those. And so think about the kinds of things that you could be using with your learners to use this kind of tool. So here's your range of tools. You could be getting children to be working in groups, and each one could be creating a picture to create a story. So they could use it for creative writing. You could use it for explaining experiments and things. You can just be using it to show them how AI tools can take a doodle or a sketch, and you could then select. So you still select what's within there. Then I love Google Arts and Culture. For me, it's my favorite website. But they have a whole range of really fun AI tools that you can be showing children with, or exploring AI with your children. So in Musical Canvas, when you open this up, you go and create a drawing or a doodle within the drawing space, and then you click for it to begin, and it then creates music around the picture that you've made. But as it's writing or making the music, it actually tells you in prompts what it's actually doing and saying. So you can have discussions around vocabulary, you could get a whole lot of selections, you could really get the children to start looking analytically at the information and exploring music. Generating AI music is another one within there. And here what you do is you've got different sounds that you can work on, and you can click and you then create your own little music with what you've got. So you can You can see their birds and their different instruments that you can use to actually engage with that space. So you can really be getting the students to be thinking about different instruments, again, talking about vocabulary, getting them to talk about the different sounds, and just getting them to think differently. So in a fun way, getting them to explore sounds and music, and where the tool then begins to make the music that they're creating. A quick draw is a really fun one that's also a Google experiment. And here what it does is it tells you a word, and then you've got to create a doodle, and you've got 20 seconds to do this, and the AI's got to try and work out if your doodle is right. So you're actually teaching the AI how people draw scribbles and that it can recognize things. But again, here the children can be practicing vocab. They can be, they have to read the word. You can be building contextual knowledge as they try to understand or create the image around the context. Then odd one out for me is a really fun one. It's also inside Google Arts and Culture. Google Arts and Culture started off with just doing museums, and now it does wide range of arts and culture. If you've never played in it, go and have a look. It's brilliant. But what odd one out is from a game point of view is it takes real artworks, 3 of them, and it generates an AI one. And you've now got to guess which one is the AI one. For me, this is a really cool tool for your older children, where you can be discussing how accurate AI is in terms of its drawings, talking about ethics and responsible use, and being aware of artificial intelligence, that it can mimic things really accurately and well now. And so you can have some really meaningful discussions in terms of your learners around that. So for me, it's how do we develop and encourage critical and analytical thinking? How do we get children to solve problems really effectively? How do we empower our learners, building their content and contextual knowledge in fun and meaningful ways, so that they don't even really think about using the tools? So think about how we can build vocabulary, encourage children to read and to say words, how we can encourage speaking, getting children to speak perhaps a different language, or reinforcing their language skills. How do we teach them about discussions and building their confidence in terms of speaking? How do we build their content knowledge, create activities where the learners can reinforce their understanding of words in fun ways? And how do we really promote critical thinking when we're even playing these kinds of tools, getting the children to make decisions, getting them to draw conclusions, allowing them to have their own ideas? So some quick thoughts, everyone. I hope this was fun.
It was lovely. Thanks so much, Corinne. Maybe I'm being biased because I have young kiddos at home, my son who is busy learning to read. So I have taken note of all of the apps. Thank you so much for sharing. I hope that there were teachers in the room, or at least colleagues from the Faculty of Education. Maybe there's some nice things that you can expose your students to for when they go into the schooling system. Susan says, very cool. I agree. Gabby gives you a heart as well. Thank you so much. We actually still have some time left. Is there anyone that would like to?
If you want to, I can go in and show one of them. I was a bit worried about time, but we could play one or two of them if you'd like. So I could show you.
That would be a lot of fun. We actually have a Q&A time now until 20 past. So that gives us a good 6 minutes almost. Unless there's someone who first would like to ask a question.
They can ask while I'm playing, so I can talk and play. So what's that? Yeah, this is auto draw. So you would click on this.
I just quickly want to give Majaji the opportunity to switch on their mic. Oh, just hang on.
Okay. Hi, this is Majaji speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very much pleased to be part of this gathering, and this presentation is all that I wanted. With my studies, I tried doing something like this, though the challenge is that we had very few tablets, and kind of outdated one, and I didn't have the admin access to upgrade or download something. So I just made shift with what I had, and I'm very much interested in this the drawing one, but all of them they are very much applicable to my studies. I did my studies on English First Additional Language Grade 3, where we tried to at least teach them for phonemic awareness, letter sounding, and at least boost their vocabulary for them to be able to read. And the one that was most interested, which they were most interested in, was the one of drawing. We just used the simple drawing app that we had for them to draw parts of the listenings and speaking stories that they listened to, and they did enjoy it. So this apps that you have recommended here will be very helpful, and I hope that we get someone to at least upgrade our tablets. They are going to enjoy it. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to maybe contacting you and asking you.
With pleasure.
Yes.
With pleasure. With absolute pleasure. So
Yes.
this is read along, and read along is brilliant in terms of just the reading, like I said. And it works on Android phones, so it works really well on phones. And for me, it's the kind of thing we should tell all parents about too, because even if they're busy, instead of them playing on TikToks and getting children to be using inappropriate technology, there are lots of these kinds of things that we should be sharing with parents. One, it's building their knowledge skills, and two, at the same time, it's something that's educationally sound. So yes. So thanks for sharing. I'm excited for your studies. I would love to know more about your studies too.
Corinne, we have a question for you in the comments as well. It's from Karina. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'd love to know how this can help a child gain skills in AI, not just how AI can impact and help learning.
So that's interesting, Corinne. There are other tools that I actually deleted here that I haven't put in today. So there are some amazing tools developed by Scratch from a coding point of view, where the children can actually download an AI app, and you can actually then get the children to be using AI. So it uses a thing that Google's created called Teachable Machine, and they then can do a facial recognition one, or hands or movements, and it actually teaches them how AI works. There's one like that. Google's developed a whole lot of lessons with Raspberry Pi called Experience AI. Go and have a look at Experience AI. They are lessons. You can do them online or offline. So you can even do them without technology, but they're really brilliant. They've got a whole lot of safety lessons and responsible use that they're learning. And this week I was in another webinar where they've released a whole lot of more lessons as well. So Experience AI is really brilliant. And then somebody's asking about fine motor skills with the mouse. So they're interesting things. If you're using a tablet and the children are using their fingers, there are ones that aren't even AI. So you can get children to pop bubbles, or to follow patterns, or to make things smaller and bigger. There are apps like that you could look for. So go and play in those and go and look for fine motor ones. I still think that we should be saying to children from a fine motor point of view that they need to be learning how to play with their little fingers. The scary thing for me is that I did a workshop in KZN a while ago with some grade R teachers on coding and robotics, and they didn't even want to know about the apps, because their children's fingers are actually, I don't know if you can see the picture, but their fingers are bent back like that, their grade R's, because their parents have allowed them to spend so much time on devices.
Wow.
So just be aware of those things. Yeah.
Wow, Corinne, as I say, I'm so biased, but this was so powerful for me. Best 10 minutes. Yay. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it so much. Colleagues, we've come to the end of our How Cool Is That session for day one. As you'll see in the chat pane that Christine has just posted for us, please remember that as busy academics, we often forget to prioritize our own well-being. And if you join us in Kuma Space for the lunch break, it promises to be an energizing session that just helps you pause, move a bit, and then refocus as we go on to our afternoon stretch. So you are welcome to go in via that Kuma Space link, or then to go in via the program, and we will see you there. Remember, there's also a lucky draw and competitions to be played in Kuma Space.
Last year it was lots of fun, so go join us. Yeah.
Yes, promote it. Thank you, Corin, and thank you so much, everyone.